So this particular code has a very common pattern that you will see in many instances. The idea is to iterate through some sort of a sequence until you have some sort of success. So in this case, success was finding something that was an int and that was odd, and then we returned true. And in this typical pattern, if you fail to find something that meets your success condition, then you do something else over here. So I would like you to generalize from this specific example to this general pattern, where for each item in some sequence, in this case it's a list, but it could be a different sequence, for example, a string or a tuple. So for each item in a sequence, if the item has some property, so here we have two parts to the property and we have to be careful about which part we check first. But if the item has some property, then you do something indicating success. That something could be a return like we have over here, or it could be something else. And we will see there are variations here that you can do. It depends on the problem that you are working with. But if none of the items has this property, then you will fail to find the success condition. And so after the body of the for loop, not indented in the body, but after the body of the for loop, we would somehow declare failure. In this case, we did that by returning false. Now, I want to highlight something very important. Remember, we are beginners. We are just learning these things. We are just familiarizing ourselves with this pattern. And it's very easy for us to think we have understood this pattern well, and when it comes time to write code, many of us write code that looks like this. We go through every item or loop through every item in the sequence, and if it has the property, we say return true or otherwise declare success. But then we often say, well, what if this item doesn't have the property? Oh, then we have to do failure. No, we only do failure after checking every item. What would this code do? Well, this code would examine the first item, and let's say it doesn't have the property. Then it would declare failure without examining the rest of the sequence. What if the very next item in the sequence had the property? If your goal was to iterate until you found an item that had the property, this code would fail. This code would only examine the very first item in the sequence. And if that item had the property, it would say success, and otherwise it would say failure. So this code would declare success or failure just on the basis of the very first item. And that's probably not what you want. So very often this kind of code is incorrect if your goal is to iterate until you find some property.